Hello Rattlings and welcome back to my garage. So last week we used up all the blocks we had and finished up the garage walls here next to me. We got the top plate on and then we got our roof trusses delivered. So we had those set up on the wall here. We tacked them in place. They're not fully secure yet, but that's gonna be something we're gonna be working on the next few days. We can start working on the roof up there as well. And then once we get sealed in everywhere here, we can transition to working outside on the stuff that goes in the ground, notably the septic tanks, our electrical coming in, and also our heat pump coils need to go in the ground before everything starts getting super wet, super rainy, and freezing in the winter. We're gonna get back into it now and see that. Today, Monday this week, Lincoln Blocks brought us a bunch of blocks that we weren't really expecting. So we have offloaded those. We're going to be moving them up to the top floor so we can work on finishing the walls up there, or at least as close as we can to total completion. These beams here, we had the crane place them. Otherwise, the one here and the one on the far end there, the big ones, we had the crane place. Otherwise, they would have been a lot more difficult just for us to do by hand. We actually knocked that one down on accident when the crane was here and had to put that one back up today by hand. After we finished getting these beams up today, I'm just working on finishing up the back wall. So I'm taking foam out of the top. We're gonna block it out. Right now I'm gonna stick a header into one spot that's missing one, and then after that I'm gonna cut a bunch of blocks, put those in the top of the wall here, put the top plate on, and then go around and cut open all the windows, wrap those, and get those finished up before we start putting the roof trusses on. There were a couple of nails in the top of these posts here that when I was cutting the posts, cutting the wood, the nails started damaging my other blade. So I just beat the posts out, and then I was just cutting what was left of the nail so I can come in and put a header in. I'm trimming one of the tongues off of the top Lincoln block because the top plate that we have, it has grooves cut in the bottom of it, but they're a little too close together. So it's kind of splitting the top plate when we put it on. So to solve that, I'm just cutting one of the tongues off so that it only has to sit in one, and then it won't split the top plate down the center anymore. They're not supposed to be like that, but they are. So we just have to make a little modification and move on. Run a line on one side. So go all the way, like it's gonna touch the face of the wall there.
Yeah, just the end of the block, or the end of the corner. Should be just lined up with the corner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
So right now I'm nailing the top plate on top of the wall. This is what we mount our roof trusses to. So on this back side of the house, the truss is going to sit on top of the top plate and hang on the beam behind. The point of this is that it's a big piece of fir, a 2x6 going across the whole top of the wall. It's very strong, it's structural, it can be nailed into, and it is nailed into fir that's inside of this Lincoln block wall below it. So it's just a nice, strong, straight piece of wood that our roof sits on top of. It's a good way to cap the top of the wall to make sure moisture doesn't get in. But most importantly, it's structural.
Action.
Lincoln blocking is great. And it's actually pretty easy for us to do just as the two of us, but I am very done blocking, and I'm so glad that we're just a few blocks from being finished. Literally, to move on to anything else would be wonderful. We're almost there. That's all I have to say on the matter.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a puffer fish. See it right there? Oh. Right on the money.
It's the last one.
It's just a beast. Perfectly spaced. Why do you think I'm doing this now? Do you think I'm doing this because I'm a professional? Sorry.
We are professionals.
It's a. Would you like to say any words about this block?
No.
Well,
Say it.
Bob, do you want to put the block up?
Yeah, do you want to do this?
Sure.
Godspeed.
Earthquake monster!
Last block. Wait, are we sure it's the last one?
And what, of course.
Oh, wait, just give it to me. Just give it to me. I'll use the. Oh, fuck.
Leaking?
I'll just reload.
We're just out of everything.
Is everything?
Here.
We are.
All right, Bob.
Last block. I won't have to do another block for like 6 months at least. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe sooner.
All done. All done.
Now we need to put a roof on.
Woo!
Woo-wee!
Are we doing?
But well, that's kind of weird. This stuff.
See this putty?
Putty?
See this putty on the end of the sheets?
Yeah.
That's CCX.
The label on the side of the plywood says
I understand,
CCX.
but they showed me the picture of how they loaded this from the shop, and they had the CDX down on the bottom, and they went to the pile of CCX and they split it, and they put it on 2 different piles, and they identify this identifies it right here. It's this putty is how they mark
The hole fill.
the holes filled. Yeah.
When they delivered the plywood decking material for the roof, they sent us CCX and CDX. So all that is just different grades. So CCX means that the holes are filled on both sides. CDX, they're filled on one side, not on the other. Sometimes people use stuff like this if you're not going to build soffits under your eaves. So the eave comes over past your house, and sometimes they're left exposed, sometimes they're closed in. We're going to close ours in, so having a higher grade of plywood that costs more than 2 times as much is not useful for us. So we're just sending back this stuff that we don't need, and gonna keep the CDX, send back the CCX, and move on with our lives.
Does it matter that it was rained on and everything?
No, it just dries out. All right, so this week we finished up our Lincoln blocks, and we just have been working on getting the whole building foamed up, top plate capped off on our plate walls, and then we're gonna transition into doing the roof next week and cutting gables. So all these gable walls that we have that look like they're out of Minecraft or something and step down, we have to cut those to match our roof line, and then we can actually start installing the roof trusses and get everything set for the roof and move on. I'm really happy to have the blocks finished, and we're excited to move on to something other than Lincoln blocking for an eternity. I'll see you guys next week.
Like and subscribe.